What's going on, guys? This is John from PDC Podcast. We're doing extra time today. Just answering some of the questions that you guys posted up on Instagram today. Uh, say what's up, guys. I'm here with Julie and Rafa.
What's up, man?
What's up? Let's get to these questions.
All right. The first one is from JR underscore Medina 05. Is Efrain Alvarez staying with Mexico or switching to the US? So he has already played in the U15 for the US, and then he switched it to the U15 and 17 for Mexico. Um, Over the course of the late December, early January, he was invited by the US national team to join the training camp with some of the other MLS players. That included Sebastian Leggett, Efrain Alvarez, uh,
Julian
Araujo.
Araujo.
Julian Arajo. Thank you. Um, so I'll start it off with Rafa. Rafa, what do you think, Efrain? Oh, dale.
And I was just gonna say that he's called up to Mexico too. So right now he's
For
called up
the
to both.
for the
For
Olympic
the
team too, right?
yeah.
So you know, Greg Ballhalter and Jimmy Lozano, they see something in this kid. Rafa, I started off with you.
Just keep
Um,
it simple, man. They don't know whether he's gonna choose the U.S. or Mexico, and he is talented. He didn't have a great season last year. He didn't play that much.
yeah, didn't play
Maybe
that
COVID
much.
had to do something with it, pandemic, whatever. But he hasn't decided yet, and I didn't know he was convocado to both of them. I just knew he was on the U.S. one. But if it's both, then he has a serious decision on his hand.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Moving
Yeah.
on.
So well I don't know exactly how the process works, but I know he accepted the US. So I think that he's put on a list for both US and Mexico, but then I think it's up to him to decide who
Yeah,
he accepts.
correct.
I think at the moment he said the US, but I think that he's in the same situation that the most recent player I think of is Yarber, William Yarber, that wanted to
Yeah.
play for Mexico, but Mexico kind of told him, "Look, you're not gonna play here," and then that's when he jumped ship to US. So I think Julian Araujo might be on the same boat where whichever side gives him that playing time.
Julian or
I mean,
Efrain Alvarez.
Efrain. My bad, Efrain. Yeah, it's the whichever side gives him or promises him that playing time, that's the side he's gonna choose. And I'm hoping it's Mexico.
Well, there's a lot of talented players, right? I think Efrain Alvarez is a very talented player. Um, I seen him, and to me, yeah, he does have skills, but at the same time, I'm gonna have to agree with Danny with this one. I know he would have said no. We don't need him. I don't have to go that far. Jonathan Gonzalez from Monterrey had the same situation where the U.S. was calling him up, and he ended up going with Mexico. At this point, Efrain Alvarez needs to sit back and see his options. With all honesty, would you start him over Marcel Ruiz?
I think they're
I
on the
mean,
same boat right now.
at this point in time, you can't tell because neither of them
Neither
are
one to
playing.
play, right? So I think
But
that's the
yeah,
right.
they're
The
talented. Yeah, yeah. Efrain he has a nice left foot. For free kicks, corner kicks, and all that. And he has the praise from Zlatan that he
yeah.
got a couple years back. So
Yeah.
he is capable. He has potential. He just hasn't showed it too much lately.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not.
Well,
I'm
he's
not. I'm
still a
not for
pup.
this comment, but he got the blessing from God, right? It's Zlatan calls himself
Or someone close
The
to it.
Lord
Lord
Zlatan.
Lord Zlatan. No, I
But
mean like he is talented. It's very difficult, because there's another guy that's on the same boat as him, which is Santiago Munoz, who could choose both sides, but he wasn't called
born in
up.
Texas,
Yeah, he wasn't called up.
But
Uh,
there's a couple guys that could do that too. I mean, you can look at
Julian
Julian
Arajo.
Araujo, Richard Ledesma, Ulises
yeah,
Yanes. Those are guys that most of them have chosen the U.S. But I mean, I don't. Yeah, I think they're all on the U.S. side now.
Yeah, and then it's a little too
Well,
soon also because I
but with
guess
Julian, sorry to interrupt, but with Julian Rafa, Torado keeps going out to LA or keeps coming to LA and talking to him, and he's trying to convince him to come to Mexico.
I,
So
I think he's one of the last ones that hasn't fallen yet, but the other ones have, like Ledesma and Giannis.
yeah, because
Julie.
I mean, like the only thing I was gonna say that it's they still have a world of years ahead of him before they could choose, Efrain, and
Yeah,
until he plays for like a legitimate like the senior team, you know, he could play for the youth squad. Like it's not gonna hurt him,
yeah. It's just I think the thing with these players is that they want to consolidate themselves at the biggest stage already. They want to be on this Mexican national team, the senior one or the U.S. one, but they're just not there yet. They haven't consolidated themselves.
No, it's a process, and yeah, like on either side, they're not. He wouldn't be a starter, but I just think that at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to like what they promise him. If Mexico promise him like, look, man, we're gonna bring you in, we're gonna work you to this, then he'll say yes. But if it's like a Yardbird situation that they tell him, look, man, we whatever you do, you're not gonna play here. Like there's just no possibility that you're gonna be starting.
Well, then again, look who he had in front of him. The poor guy was battling a Memo Ochoa, a Talavera, and
Corona.
and yeah, the one of the better players in
And
Mexico's
Mitchell
history.
and Mitchell in those days, like not too
No,
long.
ese Micho ya está
Oh
viejito.
But he was
But
being
no,
called up
but
during those times.
but and then you had a Spider Orozco. So it similar, but we do have talent in Mexico, man, that we can't overlook. And if this guy has switched right from the U.S. to Mexico back to the U.S., it's like, come on, dude, like make up your mind.
Yeah,
oh,
Yeah,
he's
and
still a pup. He's still a pup, man.
yeah, and that's fine. But there's going to be a lot of debate with these players in the following years, man. There's a lot of Mexican American players that are very well that are very good, man. And
yeah.
you know, keep bringing out the talent from here, and if they can find a spot in the U.S., why not, man? That's one of us. So, moving on to the last question from Don dot Abe or AB3. Do you think Liga MX should change its format to a longer tournament setup? Juby, this one I'll start it off with you. Dale.
Um, I kind of like the Liguilla system, to be honest. It like don't get me wrong, like the long tournament, I like that too, But I like just the fact that we have a Liguilla at the end of the season every year. I like it. I like the idea of it. I also like that we're very consistent, as in who gets a championship,
Mm-hmm.
but not consistent as in like the same team, but consistent as every year it's someone pretty much different, or I should say every season. Like it's pretty rare when you see two in a row. Uh, so I like the idea of that, where it's kind of like a throw up every year of who's gonna win the championship.
Yeah.
Uh, that's my take. I know like it kind of hurts us in certain scenarios, because when we're playing maybe some other teams, like the MLS and stuff like that, they don't got it going on. But and then I'll add to it, like even what was the last season when they started doing the adding the 12 teams. Like I think that added like an extra kick to it, which ended up for me being more entertaining because a team like Puebla, who didn't have a chance before, now had a chance, and look at what they did. So I like the Liguilla system. If it was up to me, I'll keep it.
Rafael?
Uh I don't like it at all. The Liga, I mean, I guess it keeps it more competitive, like with all the teams, and it makes it like more evened out. But
Mm-hmm.
the longer system, I think would provide more consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe it does look bad because you can beat up on the the teams that are struggling more. But yeah, I think overall the longer season would be better for me, just because that's what I'm used to seeing other leagues and seeing strong teams create good players. But uh, I mean, as long as the players are playing well,
Yeah.
that's all I'll say.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I enjoy some liguilla during Thanksgiving, man. That's one of the better things about Thanksgiving, right? You eat and then you go play or you watch soccer. But at the same time, man, like Rafa said, watching these other leagues, it's more about the consistency, bringing up players, right? Some players get hurt, you can bring in the youth system players to step it up, and in that aspect, I think that a longer torneo that would have claimed Cruz Azul like champions like 4 different times already. So I know they would have agreed with
But
it.
that's all like stats and everything. Like I mean,
And what's soccer
it,
based off?
hmm?
And what's soccer based off?
No, but I mean, like it was never gonna happen because there was no long tournament to begin with. So like you could add up all the points you want, but there
But
was
if
no
there
long tournament to
was,
begin.
That's
there
what I'm
But
was.
that's
saying.
the question.
If there
But there
was,
wasn't. There wasn't. So there's no point of making that argument that if
so in
there
that
was
and
a long
okay,
tournament,
okay, in that aspect, you're right. If but I'm saying if there was, then we would have they would have been champions a few times already. In
That
the
that
yeah.
aspect,
But
in that
you
that's what
that
can't say.
can I
that's what I
finish,
would
please?
like about it. I would just want to say like that's what I would like about it, because then that would provide the most consistent team the championship,
Mhm.
like over a span of years, not just a span of 5 matches, which is what happens in these liguillas where they get hot and then they get
Mhm.
another 6 games of okay, we're hot here, but we're just gonna chill out in the second leg and just trying to win the championship like that. I don't like that part.
Right? And then in that other aspect, right? You have that aspect, and then in the aspect of my team, they weren't number one in that liguilla, and yet we pulled it off. We got hot at the right time, and we beat Tigres. So
Yeah.
it's you know I don't want to say apples and oranges, but it's a give and take, right? At the same time, like I was telling Juby, Rafa, that with the longer tournaments, we watch longer tournaments in these other leagues. There's a chance that unfortunately some players get hurt, and you can bring up youth system players, and they'll be in the bench and they get more playing time. So in that aspect, yeah, I agree. We need a longer tournament, and I think consistently it would be great because then we follow the rest of the world in the same schedule.
I think it would allow for more breaks throughout the year, for intercontinental cups that I know that are coming with MLS in the future,
Hmm.
and just Copa MX, making it a lot better with all the new expansion teams and the second division teams. Could do something with that as well.
Yeah,
But can a team like Puebla really sustain a long tournament or
but
Well, they
because
but
well they could. I mean, look at a team like you know, you see the Prem, and the Prem makes a lot of money, but you see a team that came out of nowhere, a bunch of teams now, like Leicester or like Leeds United that came from second division, they're pumping their money in the right areas, and it's possible. I just think they've got to share the revenue a little bit better.
right in was it 2016, 2017 when Leicester won the Prem? Who would
Mhm.
have thought? There's always
15 no.
something like that. That there's always a Cinderella team. What could they sustain the money that Man City was pumping into the team, or could they sustain what Manchester United was pumping into the team, or Liverpool? Like,
And look at it now. Like the season before they won champions, they were the champions. They were about to get relegated, which people know that already. But you look at
mhm,
the season now, Leicester's sitting in third place, and right behind City and United. And who would
yeah,
have expected that?
Yeah,
right,
and like and that works like you guys said the league. I don't think our league helps out the teams enough.
why not?
You know,
But
No,
the
they
league is
should.
not. Yeah, they should, but and right, look, Wolverhampton came from second division, and was it 3 years in, and they were fighting. mid-table. The first year they got to the league, they made Europa, right? They went out and they signed Jimenez for $44 million, right? Granted, the TV deal that they have and the money that gets pumped into those teams, it's greater. But at the same time, why can't we have that? Why can't a Puebla be a Cinderella team? Why can't a Puebla beat an America, right? Right?
Well,
Or a Mazatlan come out of nowhere and be that Cinderella story. Or the top four teams always duking it out in points instead
yeah.
of us saying ese árbitro está vendido. Because
Well,
at the end of the day, that does get old.
no, yeah, like and this all kind of like goes back to the reason why the two tournaments was created, which is for money. So our issue is that our league doesn't help out, but the owners want as much money as they could get, right?
All right.
And that's why the two tournaments were created, because you revenue more money because you have two finals, two different championships. That's you're getting much more money than just having one long tournament and one champion. So that kind of like goes two and two. The short tournament was created for money reasons, which kind of in my eyes helps out the smaller teams. But if we were to create a long tournament, then yes, we definitely do have to help out the smaller teams, because the only reason why a team like Puebla or Pumas was able to do certain things was because they Puebla got that money from Liguilla, helped them out a little bit. A team like Pumas, we know recently they were struggling financially, right? Uh, and they kind of did go back to their old ways, which was getting a lot of the youth players, and that helped them out a bit. They
Mm-hmm.
had to get rid of certain players like Gonzalez, money purposes. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's teams that we have that cannot sustain a long season to begin with without the help of outside income. And the issue with us is that in Mexico, when you see that happening, instead of helping out a team, you kick them further down. And
Well, I
that,
think we're coddling them too much. Like, take a look at the real world, man. If a business isn't doing great, then you suffer. Some other guy's gonna come with a better company, better business. It's gonna take you out. If Puebla can't sustain that, then they should go down. If Atlas can't do that, they should go down. During the time that Chivas was struggling, if they couldn't pay their players or get a competitive team, they should have gone down.
yeah,
Somebody else should come up and take their business.
True.
It's just not. You know what I
I
mean?
get you. I get what you're saying. Right? Did we cut up Veracruz? No. We're trying to get rid of that guy. Did we cut
Mhm.
Lobos Buap? They finished the season. They didn't say they were in the negative, and they disappeared for a year.
Yeah.
Right? There's certain people in this podcast that were hurt because there was a lot of good talent there, but
yeah. But that
I
was part of the deal. That was part of the
but
deal with Juarez. Like
but
they sell the
yeah,
rights to them and
that
they
that's
disappear.
that's fine. But Paco Palencia said I asked for players and there was no money. So you
Mhm.
know, at the to finish this up, I think long term tournament would be great just for the developing of players, giving more youngster shots. Like I said, like I said in the other show that Manchester United just debuted a 17-year-old over the weekend. We can learn something from there.
And they do it all the time, because they can afford being up so much, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna put in this guy now. I'm sure it's not the first guy this season.
Mm-mm.
No,
No, deja de eso. It's a close title race, and they take those chances. Well, I don't know about that close, but
Yeah.
eh, debatable.
but but
Well, how
yeah,
about this? How about this last question? Uh, from JS010717. Are you gonna give away that Cruz Azul jersey, Rafa? Yeah, I am. I think so, because Danny doesn't come for it, and it's been way too long, and it's just sitting collecting dust there. And then my brothers are asking, "Hey, are you a Cruz Azul fan now?" I'm like, "Hell nah."
the questions are getting raised, man. Ya sé, dude, ya se va a acabar el año and the new jerseys coming out in a couple months. So
Hey, you know what you could use that jersey for? When the trapeador, the mop, like gets old, just switch it out with that one.
I've been getting close to think doing that. I told Danny, but he still won't do anything about it.
yeah, Danny. Um, if you're listening, man, there's a couple Cruz Azul fans that listen to us that would love that jersey. I
Oh
think says
yeah.
it's an XL, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have 40. We'll give him till the end of the week to claim
Yeah.
it, and if he doesn't claim it, then
It's up for
Julie can
grabs.
Julie can post it up to offer up
Offer up now. Just raffle it to our viewers.
to. Hey, Danny, the challenge has been put out. Thank you guys for your questions. Like always, thank you for listening. You can catch us on Instagram, PDC Podcast MX, on Apple Podcast, Spotify, um, SoundCloud, and Google Podcasts, or any platform you can. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, comment, leave us your question, and we're more than happy to answer them. We will be answering more. You guys have a good night.
Later.
Right?